Hello. Imagine yourself at your kid's baseball game. Kid's up to bat, and the pitch goes right down the plate. He swings and smacks it right down to right field. He runs to first base, rounds it, runs to second, goes through it, and just then the ball gets thrown to the cutoff man and forces him to run back to second. He then slides, falls, and breaks his arm. Flash forward, you're in the emergency room, and it's taken him hours to get seen. And this is all thanks to people who don't have health care or the money to afford a doctor. This is this is the only way these people can get their health care, uh, because they can't afford a provider to go see them if they do get sick. Well, this type of system is already in place in most of the first world countries. It's called universal health care. Universal health care is a great thing for all advanced countries to have. It keeps our people healthy, our emergency rooms less full, and the overall debt of American people will go down because they don't have these hospital bills that stack up. Let's look at why these are important. So, the history of universal health care comes from the compulsory sickness insurance in some European countries like Germany, Austria, Hungary, Norway, Britain, Russia, and these were all in place in 1912. Um, After that, Denmark got it, France has it, and all these universal health cares just they've been in place forever. Another reason why um, it's not around anymore is because of the corruption in the system. Now, uh, Charleston from the Sunday Gazette said, "The Supreme Court hearing on the Affordable Care Act, regardless of whether the Supreme Court upholds to or overturns the Affordable Health Care Act in a whole or part, the unfortunate reality is that the Federal Health Care Act of 2010 will not work. Number one, it will not achieve universal coverage, as it leaves at least 26 million uninsured. And two, it will not make the healthcare affordable to Americans with insurance because of gaps in their policies. Will leave them vulnerable to bankruptcy and event of major illness. And number three, it will not be cost controlled. Why? And this is where the corruption comes in, because the ACA um, is a dominant role for the to provide insurance industry, and the insurance siphons off hundreds of billions of healthcare dollars annually for its overhead. Um, so basically, it's stealing money uh, from the from the taxes that go to pay for that in order for them to get bigger offices and stuff like that. So this brings me to the pros and cons of actual health insurance. So my first pro is that there won't be as many people in the ER, and this is because people who are just sick, like they have a cough or a cold or something, they go to the ER because the ER doesn't make you pay right away for it. It doesn't. It bills you later. So not only are these people crowding the emergency rooms, but they're also going further into debt. You know, and it's making the hospitals pay their doctors anyways when they're not really getting money. Also, not as many people will die from preventable diseases. So if somebody doesn't have insurance and they start to get a little sick, they won't go to the doctor to see what's actually wrong, and they could die of pneumonia in their house, something that people can fix. Another pro for universal healthcare would be that people will not be going without medications, so they will have the medicines that they need um, to actually keep going, and they won't have to pay as much or anything for them. Another pro would be that these not as much money will be sent to these big drug companies that are on offshore accounts anyways. So these big companies won't be making as much, therefore they won't have as much power in the system. So a couple of cons for universal healthcare would be the doctors wouldn't be making as much money, and that is true because they would have a set wage and stuff like that, and they can't just charge whatever they want. So the incentive to become a doctor won't be as high because people won't be getting paid as much, and it is a lot of school. Also, a con would be that the doctors wouldn't have as much innovation because there isn't that. incentive to put forth the work for it. Um, and it just overall won't be as rewarding for the healthcare people. So who are the ones that actually suffer from the Universal Health Care Act? Well, it's the people that are getting paid for it. So it wouldn't it, the people would be getting a better deal than the doctors would. So for the future, the plan that I would implement would be to follow those who have the plan already. Now I understand that this can't be an overnight thing. It's going to take a lot of time for it to actually work through and get it right. I mean, these countries that have it now have been doing it since 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. So be patient. Um, and also offer incentives for those doctors. Maybe give them a tax break, or maybe make their education free for that, and offer them something to help them get through school in order to become a doctor, because it won't be as paid as much. So now that you know where universal healthcare came from, you know the pros and cons, and you know what we should do if the Universal Healthcare Act does take off. Um, and uh, just remember that a healthy America is a strong America, and we need to take care of our people in order for our people to take care of America. Thank you.